And Robin bought me these like an I love AirPods.
Yeah, they
It's not.
came out with some new ones today. They just came out with some new ones today. There's like $500 AirPods, but they like big headphones. But they're supposed to have like the best sound quality ever. So I don't know. I might check them out. Um,
Yeah, I'm asking. These is here. These is nice. These is real
yeah.
nice.
All right. So let's start with the Warriors. So like I said, I gotta start the clock over again. We start with 30 minutes with the Warriors. I was listening to Dan Levitar's show today, and they were like, the Warriors said that they were light years ahead of everybody. Like, if you were light years, why didn't you see all this stuff happening and prepare for it? The stadium, Klay's injury, like you guys didn't see COVID light years ahead in the future and prepare for it. But I guess, I mean, that's where you have to start with Klay's injury. This is a big year for them in general, just because of the stadium. For Steph's legacy, it's a big year. Uh, so, where do you want to start? What are your thoughts on the Warriors when you think about them?
I'm very indecisive on the Warriors because I don't know. Like the West is tough, and it's hard for me to just figure it out. Like I remember Steph. Like I watched Warriors versus Raptors play after coming back from injury. I watched that game earlier. So that's
Mm-hmm.
basically that's Steph playing with Poole and Lee, and Pascal, and all those guys. And they was getting blown out.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's what Zach Lowe was talking about. That those first three
Wiggins was there.
Wiggins was there.
Wiggins,
Okay.
Wiggins was here too.
Yeah,
Dre didn't play. Dre didn't play, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't. I remember Curry was a bad dude. I don't remember. I
Like this is a
remember,
big
but I
year
don't
for his
remember.
legacy, so I think he's gonna come out hot. If you if you look at their roster last year, I didn't think they had that many NBA players on the roster. Like this year, they got Bazemore. They added Wanamaker from the Celtics, who's solid. They got Looney on a cheap deal. They got Oubre now. Um, I thought that Pascal, he played well, so he's gonna probably play a role for them. So I think that they have like a 9 or 10 of players that are like NBA quality players. Also, I think this team is like bigger, and so it's going to be more athletic. So they're going to be able to defend a little bit better and maybe get out and run a little bit better. Um, like offensively, they still can run their bread and butter. The pick and roll with Steph and Dre. It's just before you did that pick and roll and you had a shooter and Klay at one side, usually a decent shooter on the other side, and maybe a lob threat that Dre can run lobs with. And like now you take that shooter from Klay's side away, teams can run games on that. They could, really jam up the middle and force, like, I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna die like for a Wiggins corner three or Uber corner three. But I was looking at their contracts, and they're a prime candidate for a trade. They have that Minnesota pick, and that's
Hmm.
top three protected. And I've been trying to find a team for Blake Griffin. And I know it's kind of a little bit of a clunky fit, but him for Wiggins straight up, it works if you put it in the trade machine. And I don't know, maybe they might have to play a little bit bigger, you know, this year. So that was something that I was thinking about. Was there any trade? Like, okay, before you even get into that, like, who do you? I asked you to write down who your most important player was for the team, and who's your most intriguing player. So, who do you think is your? I think we probably would agree that Steph is probably the most important player. Actually,
Nah, no.
okay, who
Draymond's the most important player for the
mhm.
Warriors this season. If he good Draymond like from years ago, that Draymond that had like the that the nerds saying he's a top 10 player. They get that Draymond, then they're gonna be a good. If they get the Draymond that we saw last year, what was that triple single? It's like
I think he's gonna be hyped to play. The funny thing is,
it's gonna be different for him. I mean, I think they start Wiseman at the 5.
you did start Wiseman.
Yeah, I think they start Wiseman and let him play like shit, 10 minutes, 11 minutes a half, something like that.
With the
And then,
starters. Yeah, I was,
yeah.
I don't watch any college basketball, and I didn't watch anything on the prospects this year, but, he was a consensus number one overall pick for a minute there. So I don't know, maybe he flashes for them and he gives them some good minutes. The big man, it seems like he's back. The pendulum has swung with the Jokic's and the Embiids and what Davis did this finals. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he splashes and they get like a 2010 season from him. I was saying that Steph is the most impactful, but I think the actual most impactful person is going to be Wiggins. He's still what? Like, I think
I got him as the most intriguing player.
I would say most impactful for me is him because I still I know a lot of people have written him off, but I still think there's a player in there. And, maybe it's not, but I don't know. This might be.
I was so excited about Wiggins playing with Steph and Klay, but it's no more Klay, so it's not looking like that no
more. The most intriguing to me is Oubre, and I'll go ahead and start with there because he's someone that
fans love Oubre, man. I see it all over Twitter.
Yeah, he's someone that had a high. He's a high pedigree prospect coming out into college into Kansas. And every once in a while, he flashes a little bit ball handling, some shooting. So I don't know. He might be hyped this year to prove some things. I think this is a contract year for him, if I'm correct. Yep, this is a contract year. So he's a longer guard. He can guard point guards. That's probably his best position to guard, even though he's longer, because he gets lost on like back cuts and stuff like that. But if you put him actually on the guard, he actually plays a lot like Klay. He stays down and he uses his length. So I think he's gonna really intriguing. I wouldn't be surprised if he had like a 16, 17-point year. Who you intrigued with on?
I wanted to see what Wiggins could do with the space that was supposed to be there with Steph and Klay.
Yeah,
but I mean, like Wiggins, I see him look like the best player in the league at times. So I wanted to see what he could do consistently. Working with the Splash Brothers. But I mean, he's still gonna be with Curry, so it's still gonna be decent. Like it's not the ultimate space, but like the Warriors, we're gonna see, man, because we're gonna see.
Yeah,
it's a solid line. Like it looks fun. Like it's a nice little squad. But we're gonna see.
It's not terrible. I mean, Wiggins is 25 this year, so
because they got NBA players. The starting five: Wiseman, Green, Oubre, Wiggins, Curry. That's a real good five. Like that's a starting five with I think Curry. That's Curry and the two wings all average about like 19 or more a year.
Yeah, and then Bazemore, he had something that Zach Lowe also mentioned. Bazemore had a career year last year. You still have Wanamaker, who's solid. The only thing I think that they're missing is kind of something.
Bazemore had a good stretch with the team.
Yeah, he did.
Where he shot the ball. He shot the ball at a good clip.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's no one to be like super excited about. Like he was averaging about 10 a game, shooting it at about 38% from three. So he's solid. I mean, off the bench, Bazemore, Pascal, Marcus Chris, Looney. They got a squad.
And
And
then
like you said, they could be that team that's looking to trade. T-Wolves pick. I don't think it's gonna be worth nothing. I don't think the T-Wolves are gonna be that sorry.
yeah, we're gonna talk about
So
them.
pick is not gonna be not gonna be a top five pick. So,
Yeah, but it's just something, especially with the way that the lottery is set up now. I think any team, any pick that's lottery range, I think is attractive. So with that Wiggins salary in that pick, they're pretty much available, I think, to trade anybody, whoever comes available on the market. Um, Another player that I thought for them, because one thing that I didn't like is their bench scoring, especially now that you can't really stagger Klay with the Steph with Klay, who's going to be your bench scorer consistently. And
I think
Will Barton is somebody who I looked at as possibly a trade for them. I don't know if you saw, he's unhappy already. He's saying that he's a starter in this league and he doesn't see himself coming off the bench. And you got that Michael Porter.
where he gonna start at? That means that
He's,
makes sense for Barton. Huh?
yeah,
I can't think of nowhere to start.
he said he's a starter in this league and he's proved himself for that. So especially,
He's a good player. He's a good player.
yeah, no, I like him. He's a good player. I think he's a great bench player. But if he's not happy in his role, maybe he'll go somewhere else and he'll be happy. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to like accept things when you were a starter at a place before that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying with that bench situation. And then you got that Wanamaker carry. And that Pascal, that's another player that's interesting. He had like a stretch there where he was dropping 20 and 10s consistently. So I don't know. The thing about them is they have a bunch of clunky fits because you have him, you have Wiseman, you have Green. They all are like the same position. So it's just like he's part of their better players, but it's like he can't play. And then you have Looney too. Like that's another player that's played well in that position, and he's kind of a clunky fit.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see Curry back out there. I mean, the league's changed. Last time we saw Curry, he was supposed to be that guy that they thought he was the one. So we need to see him again. Dame Lillard took the point guard title, so we got to see Curry. We got to see Draymond. Draymond been putting in a lot of work. I see all the videos on his social media page.
Yeah, he
So
might try to score a little bit more this year.
hopefully he's motivated. But then we got to remember they all 30 now. Like this is an older crew. They're all older, coming back from injury. And you got to look at it. If Curry goes down, and Curry always goes down during the season. Curry goes down, does this team do they even compete? Like
That's true.
on a nightly basis, you gotta think about that. Curry injury, that's not a playoff team.
Yeah, and a Curry injury or a Curry COVID stretch, because
Yeah.
yeah, like 2 weeks of him being out for COVID.
And you can't like that beside your whole season right there.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
That right there. So, I don't know, man. We gotta look at it with I don't know, like that team. It's so hard for me to predict where I have them. If I see it how it's supposed to look perfectly, like okay, they're running, they running with Curry and those boys, and they just out there having, like draw pushing off overs and everybody getting out there on the break running. And I can see them being an exciting team. I can see them, Curry being a top five player. But I can also see it just not really working.
yeah.
So it's
You
I
know,
don't know, man. I don't know.
yeah, because when we're done with this, the thing that I want to do, and I think I mentioned to you in the group chat, is that I think that the real fun conversation, if you're talking NBA, is who's the second best player in the NBA. Like I think that there's like 8 or 9 candidates. There's a couple of people who might make their claim this year, like a Luka. Like who's the second best player in the NBA, and like Zach Lowe mentioned, like people are now like taking Steph Curry out of it. Like he's not even really in the conversation anymore. And this was somebody like people were saying is better than Bron.
Wow.
So like
Wow.
I think he knows it, and I think he's gonna come, prepared and motivated. But like you said, he is a smaller guard. He has been worn down at the end of the season. And, it's not about playoffs anymore, about like deep playoff runs. It's about getting there with the solid seed, especially with that arena that they got. Like Dan Lepertor, they were talking about this today about NBA owners that are in financial trouble. The Warriors, they took out like a massive loan, a $300 million loan. They publicly financed their arena by themselves, and they moved it from Oakland to San Francisco. And like Oakland, if people are familiar with the Bay Area, like before the Warriors got good, like every other night was Asian appreciation night. And like you had like a base of like hardcore fans in Oakland, and it's not the same in San Francisco. They have a real rabid fan base, but that fan base, they're there for a winner. They're not there like me and a bunch of bandwagon Warrior fans that are now rocking their back with the Lakers now. So it's just like they have a lot invested in this arena, and they can't just be okay. Like they need to be like really good. Like the venture capitalists, the tech people, whenever things get back to normal, probably March, April, they're not coming to see like a 500 team. The arena was empty last year, which it never was for the Lakers. Like, the Lakers downtown, you always came to see Kobe, or, it's a vibe to come to the Lakers, to Staples. Like, it's not really like that for the Warriors. So they have to be good. So that's why I think they're definitely going to trade. Unless Wiggins comes in and is like the most improved player in the league, I think he's definitely getting traded. It's just a matter for who are they going to trade him for? Because they have to go for it. I think Wiseman is there. Okay.
Let's add Blake Griffin. Where would you put him? You put him at the 5, and Draymond at the 4, or like how would you?
I don't because the thing about it is, like, you look at the West, everybody's like, okay, Jokic and Davis, we got to have somebody to guard them. But those are only 2 games. Those are only 2 teams out of the majority of the West, So I think it'd be foolish to say we can't start Dre and Blake because of those 2.
You got to look at Nurkic. Nurkic is there.
Nurkic is there, but he's not really somebody that's like going to dominate you in the post. Like
Valanciunas, the Grizzlies play big.
Yeah, the Grizzlies play big.
Play big.
Because
gotta be big, man. You can't have no small teams in the West.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that they need talent, and Blake, especially now that he shoots threes, he's a talent. You know what I'm saying? That like a pick and roll with him and Steph Curry, like you can make money with that, man. Especially now he's shooting threes, you can make good money with that. So,
they'll be a great offensive team. They won't.
Yeah.
They won't be a team that's going to win nothing. There's no scenario for where they win anything. So,
the thing about it was, and it sounds like I'm picking on them, but I didn't think they was going to win anything with Klay, and I'm kind of I'm kind of upset that Klay got hurt because I can't be right. I want to be right on this prediction. Now it's like we're saying they're not gonna win anything. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh well, Klay was hurt," and these are 2 bad injuries and all this other nonsense. So I didn't think they was gonna win anything with Klay.
the demise wasn't. It's not fulfilling for me.
Yeah.
I want more. I
Yeah, like
want
they could just say, hey, it's ironic. It's like they had this trainer, they had this female trainer, the head of their like strength conditioning, and they let her go. And let me look up her name. They let her go to the Hawks, and ever since she's left, like they've had this string of injuries, and I'm not gonna say it's her fault, but a lot of their titles were built off of the fact. I mean, it's just a fact. It's not even subjective.
They were healthy.
They were healthy, and the team wasn't.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. They were healthy, and the team wasn't. And for me, like, why would you mess with that? It's kind of like I won't say it's karma. I don't believe in karma in the world, but it's just like, why would you mess with you? Your team has stayed healthy. You've avoided major injury. You let your head trainer go because of some financial dispute when you guys are printing money, and now all of a sudden your players can't stay healthy. Like, that's kind of crazy. But one thing you talked about, like, we didn't think that they were going to be good. Like, one thing that I thought people were underrated was how big of a role Iguodala played for them, and like having him to put on the other team's best player. Because for my money, I think he's probably one of the best 3 or 4 wing defenders of all time, and he probably has the best hands of any wing defender I've ever seen. So, like, he could do stuff to take players. Like, he does subtle things. Like, one thing that people don't really understand about him is, like, if they talk about hands, they usually go to Kawhi, and they say, oh, the claw, he can steal the ball. But usually that's on weak ball handlers. Like, he's not just snatching the ball from LeBron. But the thing with Iggy is, like, he could move his hands in a certain way that could stop players from shooting pull-up jumpers, and that kind of threw off everything, like for Harden, for Durant, and like they don't have that anymore. And I thought even with Klay, like, you can't ask Klay to guard the bigger wings like a LeBron or a Kawhi or something like that. But yeah, I think his loss was big too. So, yeah, I mean, it's not fulfilling, because even if he comes back and they're not good, they're like, oh, well, he had an Achilles with the ACL. He's not the same Klay that he was before. But, yeah, this is their squad. Like you said, they're in the 30s, and I don't think that they would. Do you think they would trade Dre?
Man, every contract is tradable. Every contract is tradable. I mean, who would want him, bro? Like, this rich Drake, triple single gotta have a decent season. In a tough spot. So we're gonna see. Oh man, I don't know. Dre's an interesting player to trade for, man. Cause, man, when he stopped being good, it's over.
Yeah, her name is Chelsea Lane.
Can you justify having Draymond Green on your team when he's not good? Like, that's like, come on, man. When you the head coach and you got this nigga trying to fight you all the time and he's screaming at you, man. If he triple single, he can't justify that. You know what I mean? I don't know if any team would even want to bring that into their organization.
What about today all the stuff came down with Harden, and it says that he's willing to accept a trade to Philly or any other contender. And I've heard people throw the Warriors name out. I'm guessing the package would be like with Wiggins, Wiseman, and the Minnesota pick. Would you do that if you were the Warriors?
If you're the Warriors, yeah. If you're the Warriors, shit. Of course.
You
If you're the Rockets when you do that bullshit. If the Rockets. I used to listen to Zach Lowe, man. Every time they be talking about the Warrior trade, they was like, yeah, you know, they can trade Wiggins and the pick. I'm like, bro, what? Well, how did I get the pick in the Well, hey, look. just to get D'Angelo Russell, to get D'Angelo Russell, the team had to trade Wiggins and two picks. Two picks.
I guess I mean,
Oh, shit,
but if they give away because
Wiggins and Wiggins and Wiseman. What? Oh, I be arguing with this Warriors fan, and he be so angry with me because he, how you want Giannis, and you talking about Wiggins. Oh man. Every time they say Wiggins, I'm like, what?
you're stupid, man.
Oh man. What are you? Wiggins all of a sudden have value. When Minnesota had to give you two picks to take Wiggins. And now all of a sudden they're offering Wiggins. Like, what? What? Hey, it's a Wiggins and Wiseman. I'm like, what?
the hope is the hope is the hope is that he gets better. The hope is that he gets better, and Wiseman, he like takes off. Like he has like he comes out the gate 2010, like I said, and the Houston the situation gets so noxious, so toxic.
The problem with Wiseman, he's a center, and like, bro, they just don't, like they don't matter. Like the Rockets were about to run off and win a championship without playing a big, bro. Like it doesn't matter. It's just the Lakers. The Lakers play Anthony Davis. He's a fucking guard that's 7 foot tall. Like it's different.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you might look at a Jokic, but Jokic is passing.
Yeah, that's the one.
He's
We're
special.
talking with Jokic. We're talking one player. Like it's just the centers don't matter. And I love Aiden and Phoenix. And you see like Rudy Gobert, and it's like every time I see him, I look at him like, whoa, boy, LeBron will just abuse you in the future. That's all I say.
It's true. Yeah, they get you to pick a roll. They will hunt you.
They don't get a trophy and have to play just watching TV while the opposing team keep running plays at you. And why he's scoring.
Yeah, Harden in those playoff series, Harden was he was torturing him. But I don't know with Wiseman. Like I said, I've never seen him play, so I don't even know what his game is. See,
Man, he's when I look at him, I can just say he probably runs and dunk, he catch lobs and stuff like that. He may block shots. Like they all the same, bro.
yeah.
It's not like, oh man, Wiggins and Wiseman. This is offering Wiggins one. No.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. Yeah, they really that I don't know that Wiggins trade. Like I said, it would depend on a bunch of things. The things would have to get noxious, and maybe the Warriors would have to. I don't even know their pick situation, but they would have to trade.
I want Wiggins to succeed so bad. I want Wiggins to succeed so bad, bro.
Yeah, I mean, he has the pedigree. I mean, everyone was saying that he's the best. I remember when he came out, they say he's the best prospect since LeBron, and for him to be this good, I remember they listed all the number one picks, and they said they would take Wiggins over Blake, over John Wall, over this person, over that person. So like, and I remember his rookie year, there was a stretch he was averaging 30. So like, there's a game in there. I mean, with Wiggins, I don't know if he's serious.
I said whenever they
Training
played,
camp.
whenever he played against LeBron, since his rookie year, I swear he averaged like 30, 40 a game.
Yeah,
And I just see, I'm looking at him like, wow, this is like a top 10 player. Like,
yeah.
I see it. I see it.
If he's motivated, he has the talent. It just, does he have the dog?
Yep.
And I don't know. You can change your mentality. I think you can, if you really work at it. So I don't know. We'll see. So coming up on the end of the 30 minutes. So your final pick, do they make the playoffs or not?
Man, uh, yeah. Yeah, they make it.
Okay, so what's the highest that you see them making? The highest seed that you potentially pick them at?
Yeah, see, everything has to go perfect.
Yeah, I mean it's not. So I mean these predictions, but what's the highest that you think that they go to?
5.
That's the bell right there. You said what, 5?
5.
Yeah,
That's the
so
highest.
I see them making the playoffs. It's going to be. I think they're not going to take as many games off as other teams. Like I think the Lakers going to take a couple games off. The Clippers definitely going to take games off. So
Lakers and Clippers, those rosters, they're well equipped for that though. Like they can take
you're right.
games off. Those teams are loaded. Like Lakers and Clippers, I was looking at their depth chart. They got those two teams are loaded.
Yeah, they are.
Loaded.
They are. I would say probably I agree with you. Their upside is probably like 4th seed, but I know they're probably gonna make a trade. I know they have a trade in them, so it just remains to see who's available, who's disgruntled. You don't even know who's disgruntled. This James Harden stuff came out of pretty much nowhere that he said he wanted to get
That's
traded. So
true.
you don't know who's disgruntled. Somebody might be bubbling right now, and something might
Yep.
go down. So and I think they're gonna be at the front of the line. So all right, so we'll end it there with the Warriors. Um, Thanks for everybody for watching it. Definitely hit subscribe. We're going to do every NBA team, 30 minutes on every NBA team. And we'll get back to you guys soon.